All right, one take all. Make sure I remember everything I really want to say here, hopefully. You may have seen earlier in my story about me putting together dog tags with one hand and showing you how it's done because it's the only way I got to do things. But if you haven't seen that, no big deal. You're probably wondering why I look like Mr. GIT right here with all these dog chains. 10 tags, 10 chains. Who needs two when you got 10? All right, enough of the puns. But I'm here to talk about suicide awareness and prevention. My new nonprofit, Forging Forward. One of the things I want to do with the nonprofit is suicide awareness and prevention. And, with that, I decided to do remembrance tags. And on these remembrance tags are names of veterans that have actually died by suicide, along with a Forging Forward tag reminding them about what's strong with you. So what I'm going to do is hand these out Saturday. I'll be at the 4th Annual Man 22 Suicide Awareness Run right there in Hope Mills, North Carolina. Everything is free. There's all kinds of fun stuff coming out. Check it out. It's free to everybody. And again, it creates a lot of great awareness and prevention for suicide. I got the names that I'm wearing from Patriot Productions, Remembering Our Fallen. They have these trees. They call actually not trees, towers. Bill and Yvonne worked with them a few times over the years, Remembering Our Fallen, stuff like that. They have these towers that has pictures of veterans. If you've never seen them, check it out, patriotproductions.org. Remember Our Falling. Check out those towers. They travel around the United States. You can see the photos of over 5,000 men and women that have died in the line of battle in Iraq and Iran. That's the next war. Iraq and Afghanistan wars. We have over 6,000, 7,000 men and women that have died today. They're working on getting the rest of those. But also they have the ones that have went to combat and have died by suicide. And again, I say died by suicide because they didn't commit suicide. Suicide is not a crime. What killed them was that war wound. They came home mentally challenged. Obviously, I got a lot of physical scars and wounds, but I also have the mental wounds too. Mental health is very important. It's very important to ask for help. It's hard to ask for help. We're stubborn. A lot of people say, suicide, it's selfish. It was weak. It's not what it is at all. It's actually strength. I know a couple of times when I personally thought about suicide, it's that you want to make things better for everybody else. You think because you come back different and your family's having a hard time with you and you're having a hard time adjusting, that you figure it'd be easier for everybody if you weren't here. And it's in those times when it happens. But we got to remind ourselves that it's not true. It's not it. So these veterans that died by suicide died from their war wounds. These are war wounds they got out in war. They came home with them. They battled them. They tried to beat them, and the demons won in the end. But again, they didn't do it out of selfishness. They thought they were helping the others that were still here today. They thought they didn't want to be a burden to anybody else anymore. But anybody out there that's having these issues, I want you to know you're not a burden. There's plenty of people out here, plenty of brothers and sisters that are there for you in a moment's notice. Someone to talk to, someone to lend an ear, no pun intended. We gotta laugh. We gotta laugh. But in all seriousness, part of my new nonprofit that I'm starting, I'm excited. Forging Forward, the Bobby Henline Foundation. You can check it out, forgingforward.org. Part of it is doing these remembrance tags. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand these tags out with the names on them to other veterans and have them take an oath that they'll live for them, that they'll make sure this person's not forgotten. Because I was recently reminded that a man or woman never truly dies until they're forgotten. So we got to remember them, remember their sacrifice and their services, no matter how if they were KIA or if they died by suicide later, because that war wound was still eating away at them. I don't think it's any different than me going in for a surgery and not making it out of my next surgery, trying to fix my eyes or whatever it is that I got to go for another surgery for. It's the same thing. It's a war wound. And that's what eventually took their lives. So we want to remember them. We want to honor them. And we want to live strong for them. So that's the big key is what I'm asking now. What is strong with you? Let's talk about what is strong with you. We hear about what's wrong with you. Really, there's nothing really wrong with you. You're normal. You're normal for the things you saw. You're normal for any person that would have had to do the things you had to do. It's normal. It's just the way you're new normal. And we got to learn to live with that. There's lots of tools we can use to get through those things. Lots of people out there to help and listen to us. There's a lot of different ways to handle it. There's all kinds of, I mean, you got to think of it as like a house. You know, there's lots of different tools you need to build a house. There's lots of different skills you need to build a house. And it's the same way when you got to rebuild yourself. You need different tools. You need different ways. You need different skills. And you got to open up to ask what those are, to learn what those are. I've learned a lot of different things over the last 12 years that I've been still on this earth since my injuries. And I've had some hard times. I had some good times. But I've learned some things over the years from myself, and I learned from professionals. I learned from faith. I learned from volunteers. I learned about sharing and talking and helping others helps me. I learned outlets that help me get through stuff, whether it's weightlifting, painting, writing poetry, writing songs, just getting it out. So I want to share all these things with my nonprofit that I started, Forging Forward, which again will be official about 4 to 6 weeks from the attorney says. We got our state ID tax number. Now we're working on that federal tax ID number to become an official 501c3. But my official act will be this weekend. That's right. This weekend at the Run will be my first act with my foundation handing out these remembrance tags and making sure we all think about and remember what's strong with you. Can't wait. I hope to see you guys there if you're in the North Carolina area. If you're not in the North Carolina area, let me know. Let me know. That's all right. You're doing a suicide run somewhere else. You're doing a suicide awareness prevention thing. We'll get some tags. We'll come out to where you're at. Because we're not only doing this for veterans. I want to do this for first responders too. Anybody out there that may know other veterans that have died by suicide, you might know some first responders that have died by suicide. Please go to forgingforward.org. Go to my social media. Send me a message. Let us know those names so we can make sure they're not forgotten. And we'll set up events. We'll go to events and we'll make some more tags. And we're going to make sure these people are not forgotten and that their service and sacrifice is always remembered. And that goes for my brothers and sisters overseas, over the pond in the UK, Australia, my brothers up in Canada and the Canadian forces, wherever you are. It's a world thing. It's a world problem. It's not just about here in the States. I want to make a difference in the world. I want to leave a footprint that continues on, that people remember and never forget. That's what we need to do. So that's my mission. That's what I'm doing. Like it, love it. I don't know. It's just me. It's what I'm doing. Speaking from the heart. As you can tell, this is not very scripted. But hey, let's stop this. Let's stop this 22. Let's take that number down. Let's help the whole world deal with what's going on. Let's try to create peace wherever we go. Because that's what we really want. Not even soldiers want to go to war, but we're ready to go to if we have to. And that's what it's about. We'd rather have peacetime. We'd rather be home with our families. We'd rather not see some of the stuff we saw or do the things we had to do. But it is what it is. And we got to continue to help each other. So I appreciate everybody's support. Thanks for listening to this long video of me rambling on. Again, that's forgingforward.org. Check it out. It's on its way up. We're going to be doing a lot of great things with it. And remember, it's tags. And don't forget, what's strong with you?